Aloha and welcome to PIPClips, tips to enhance your relationships. My name is Amy Elizabeth Gordon, delighted to be your host today as we look at the benefits of having boundaries, the benefits of coming home at night, putting your head to the pillow and not feeling drained by your day's interactions, of not feeling the need to go over and over again all those conversations that didn't quite go the way you wanted them to. The benefits of knowing that you've done enough, that you've been enough, and goodness gracious, cutting some slack and recognizing that other people have done enough too. So, boundaries. We hear a lot about them, and sometimes I get a little tied up in it because I think we're all connected, right? So how can I have boundaries? Well, actually, it's pretty easy to look at it from a structural perspective because I have skin, right? This skin separates me from you. The energetic exchange is going on. That's what we really got to tune ourselves into, no pun intended, and recognize, when do I feel somebody else running their circuits through me? And how do I put an end to that or dampen that somehow? So I am going to propose this idea that our boundaries are like the structural supports of a house, your home, if you will. So I want you to picture it, your home or your ideal home. And I want you to think of what creates structural integrity in that home. There's really good construction in terms of the vertical supports. These are our beliefs. These are the purpose we live our life, the guiding principles, the things that we're passionate about. These are kind of the structural supports in our being. And then we have the need for fresh air to come in, right? I was reading something today that our indoor environment can be more toxic than the outdoor environment if there's a lot of weird stuff going on. So get yourself some plants, use non-toxic chemicals, and open up the windows. I don't care what season it is. Right now I had to close those because our sideways rain is going through, but allowing fresh air in, that is like having proper boundaries in relationship. We need to have our own structural integrity of our own pillars of support, those vertical upright structures in place. But if I don't have any windows, I'm not letting the light in. I'm not letting the fresh air in. I'm not letting that exchange with the outer world happen. And it goes on to say, if I don't have those walls, if I don't have those structural supports and I'm all windows, if I'm all open, I am constantly going to get blown by what's going on with you. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be able to have my boundaries and know that what's going on with you, it does affect me, but it doesn't have to knock me down. And what's going on with me does enhance the space around me if I'm doing what I want to do, which is being a force for good in the world. So that's my pip clip for today about boundaries. We hear a lot about it. How do we visualize it? I invite you to think about your house. If you want to go now and draw a little structure of how many windows do you have? My last office, I had a beautiful round window. I really loved that, but it didn't open. So it let the light in, but it also served as like a magnifying glass because the heat would come in, sear things up. For me, I need to be able to open my windows. I need to be able to let the light in. And sometimes when it's too bright or there's too much influence, to close the windows, close the shutters, close the blinds, and come back home to myself. That reminds me of a great blessing. I've read this one before, and if you've heard it, you're going to get to hear it again. It's one of my all-time favorites. John O'Donohue, to bless the space between us, to come home to yourself. May all that is unforgiven in you be released. May your fears yield their deepest tranquilities. May all that is unlived in you blossom into a future graced with love. Power in partnership, that's what matters most. Aloha.